Hi, my name's Kristen Boddy and I'm an IELTS teacher at Viva College in Brisbane. Today in Spotlight on IELTS, we're continuing our series on Task 1 of the IELTS Academic Writing Test. Just as a quick review, don't forget that in this task you have to write 150 words and you only have 20 minutes to do it. Of course, if you write more than 150 words, you will not be penalized, but you must not write less. So today I'm going to talk to you about the first paragraph of your answer, which will be approximately 50 words. In total, we're going to be writing 3 paragraphs. So in this paragraph, you have 2 very important tasks. The first task is to paraphrase the question. What does paraphrase mean? Basically, it means that you have to use your own words. In this test, if you copy the words from the question, the examiner will actually cross out the words that you've written. You will lose marks and word count for copying the words. So it's very important that you practice paraphrasing the question. The second part of the first paragraph needs to contain an overview. This is basically a summary of the information that you're analyzing. So let's practice together. Here's an example of a question that you might need to answer. The line graph shows changes in the amount and the type of fast food consumed by Australians from 1975 to 2000. So there's a couple of different ways that you can paraphrase a question like this. The first is by changing the name of the data. So a line graph is a very specific type of graph. Rather than saying line, you can simply say graph. That makes it easy and shows the examiner that you're not simply copying the name from the question. Another word that you can change is shows. Actually, all of the IELTS Writing Task 1 questions in the academic test use this word. So you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to need to change it from shows to another word each time. Other words that you could use are illustrates, depicts, represents. All 3 of those would be satisfactory in place of shows. The next thing that we want to change is this next phrase, changes in the amount and type of. So the first word that we can focus on is changes. You might say deviations, you might say alterations, you might say fluctuations. All of those words can mean changes. The next word is amount. A very simple word that you can replace amount with is quantity. The next word is type. Type is a really good word in this particular sentence, so perhaps we might change the word order. So the quantity of fast food and the types consumed. If we want to change this word, we could say eaten. The final thing that we want to change is this last phrase here, Australians from to. So obviously a synonym for Australians is people from Australia or people living in Australia. And rather than saying from to, you can say between and or you can say over a 35-year period. So you need to make sure that you're changing the majority of the words in the question in order to avoid being penalized for copying them. Writing an overview is actually quite simple. What this means is that you're going to summarize the main and most important trend that you see in the data. If you're analyzing a graph, you're going to summarize the most significant information that you've identified. So perhaps you might make a sentence like, overall, the amount of food consumed increased and the types of food changed significantly. You're not going into detail, You're not giving any examples. You're just giving a summary of the most important things that you've noticed from the data. So let's summarize. In your IELTS Writing Task 1, you're going to use 3 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, it's very important that you paraphrase the question. So you practice changing the main words and perhaps the order of the words. And it's also very important that you include an overview, which is a summary of the main trends and information in the data that you're analyzing. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name's Kristen Boddy. I'm an IELTS teacher at Viva College. If you would like to ask any questions or leave any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And I hope that you can join us next time for the next part of our series on Writing Task 1. Take care.